We'll be right now having a panel discussion on the topic PropTech as a growth engine, scaling real estate with speed, precision, and control. I'll repeat the topic once again for you all for the panel discussion. This is going to be about PropTech as the growth engine, scaling real estate with speed, precision, and control. I'll be first introducing our honorable moderator for the session. With more than 29 years of diverse experience in nurturing businesses within sectors such as telecom, BFSI startups, and now the technology-driven real estate industry, he possesses a broad range of expertise across sales and marketing, AI, private equity, management consulting, and business analytics. In his role as Chief Strategy Officer at Anurag Group, he is responsible for overseeing the overall strategic direction, product and technology innovation, marketing, and the group's venture into AI. He's at the helm of building new growth ventures for Anurag Group and has built and scaled up to 5 to 6 interesting business lines. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming on stage the CEO, Growth Businesses, CPTO, Chief Strategy Officer, Anurag Property Consultants, Mr. Sunil Mishra. Thank you so much, Mr. Mishra, for joining us. Pleasure to have you. He'll be moderating this session. I'll be now introducing our speakers in alphabetical order. My first speaker is a chartered accountant with 20 plus years of experience across corporate finance, venture capital, and startup operations. He currently leads Earth Fund and serves as chief mentor at the Brigade REAP. He previously helped scale L&T's Sufin's GMV to 100 crore per month and held leadership roles at Baytree Ventures, Axis PE, and Acumen. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about the head of Earth Fund. Please clap it up for Abhay Garg. Thank you so much, Mr. Garg, for joining us. My next speaker over here has over 25 years of experience and has been providing advisory solutions to a cross-section of multinational clients, both public as well as private entities, in evaluating risks and opportunities of their investments in real estate and hospitality projects. He has extensive sectoral understanding of both domestic and international, with vast experience across various asset classes, including residential, commercial, office, retail, hospitality, industrial, warehousing, you name it all, he has done it all. Ladies and gentlemen, the Deal Advisory Real Estate and Hospitality Head, Transport and Logistics, KPMG India, Chintan Patel. Can we please have a big round of applause for Mr. Patel? Thank you. My next speaker over here is an Indian PropTech and Deep Tech entrepreneur who is pioneering AI-powered LD mapping solutions that transform physical developments into intelligent, immersive digital ecosystems. With a strong focus on spatial intelligence, data integrity, and scalable SaaS innovation, he is positioned Propical as an IP-led technology platform serving leading real estate developers and institutions all over the country. His work bridges infrastructure with digital intelligence, enabling faster scales, cycles, greater transparency, and measurable operational efficiency. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about the founder and CEO, Propical Technologies Private Limited, Deepak Dureja. Thank you so much, Mr. Dureja, for joining us. What a pleasure to have you. And my next speaker over here, ladies and gentlemen, established the Propertist, a pioneering PropTech platform in the year 2014 with a vision to bring transparency, credibility, and digital empowerment to India's real estate broking ecosystem. Over the past decade, he has led and executed high-impact digital marketing and brand campaigns for leading developers and channel partners across Mumbai and other key markets. Under his leadership, the Propertist has managed marketing budgets exceeding 50 crore, delivering measurable ROI through data-led strategy, funnel optimization, consumer insight mapping, and integrated performance marketing. Ladies and gentlemen, the founder of the Propertist, Hitesh Agnani. May I have a big round of applause for Mr. Agnani, please? Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the first panel discussion of the PropTech Conclave over here in 2026. The stage is all yours. Can we have a bigger round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? Lunch ho gaya, I'm sure the Josh is on top. Can you all clap a little louder? My esteemed audience at the back, can I have a bit of participation? Because they'll need that motivation from your end. The session post-lunch is always difficult, right? So anyway, let's encourage them a little more. Thank you so much, and over to you. The timer is there for your reference.
Thanks. Sorry, what's your name? So thanks, Shubhajit. Yeah, we can see 3958 here. So clearly there's pressure from the organizers. Thanks, Shubhajit. I didn't understand some of my introduction there, but I hope it was all good. Thanks, Shubhajit. Yeah. Great. Good afternoon, and welcome on behalf of Realty Plus to our sort of esteemed panel. The topic is revolving around PropTech, and we'll sort of. As I was joking with someone that I don't really care what is after PropTech because we know only this much. So we are going to say the same things. What are the topic beyond PropTech? I'm Sunil Mishra from Anarok. I'm the Chief AI and Strategy Officer for Anarok. I'll moderate this session. When I say moderate, it's not that there are going to be some extreme views here, but let's have a good dialogue here. I'll start off with your permission, taking a step back and spending about 2-3 minutes on the trends in PropTech for the sake of the audience. And people who have attended my panel discussions before, it's 80% the same stuff I say, which is good news. I don't change it. So quickly taking the history of PropTech in India, Indian real estate, or technology interventions in real estate. So the story is like 30 years back, and we are just making fun of age. We are doing age-related jokes just now. So the whole PropTech thing started off with computerization and internet, right? 95. Email and SMS marketing were the first two salvos on the marketing side to be released. Real estate sales started happening through these two sort of channels. And then in early part of 2000s, something magical happened. Search and search and discovery went online. So 2005, 2006, 2007, 99 Acres, Housing, and Makaan.com, 3 portals were formed. 1995, the first portal was formed in Australia, realestateaustralia.com. And internet was started in 1995, www, December. So real estate is not a Luddite. REA was the forefront of the internet revolution. And REA today has 20 million users, by the way, in a population of 22. So that is the first portal. India was pretty fast to catch up on. And 2007, 2008, of course, Facebook and Google entered the market and changed the whole digital marketing, which you are sort of a denizen of. If these 3 portals had got some years, possibly one of them might have become the Google of real estate. Like Zillow is in the US and REA is in Australia, where you go to Zillow.com if you want to find the price of an apartment or anything about apartment. In India, unfortunately, we go to Google right now. And the first 3 sort of SEO searches are Magic Bricks, 99 Acres, and Housing.com. So that was the search and discovery going online phase. Quickly moving 2010, 2015 was the back office automation phase. The ERP, the CRM, LMS, lead management system, which sort of telescoped into the CRM. And there were companies like Infor, Velocity, FarVision, Indian-based ERP companies. CRM, of course, Salesforce came later, but Lead Squared, Sell.do, these companies provided a lot of back office automation to real estate developers. And then the pace started moving fast. We had pandemic, and I think, Chintan, you sort of mentioned that AR, VR, XR, and digitalization of sale happened. The first time digitalization of sale happened, which is virtual conference calls for sales started. And that was a sort of a heady and confused phase when we didn't know how long that will last. But AR, VR was there. In between, crypto sort of came in, bit of flatter to deceive. AR, VR, XR also obviously have not really fulfilled their potential. They still have a lot of work to do, and possibly we will talk about that a bit. And then 2020s, 21, 22, predictive AI algorithms came in. Some machine learning models were implemented. We have done some in Anrock. I'll talk about that if these guys give me a chance. And last 2-3 years, of course, November 2022 onwards, the world is different. Gen AI or OpenAI launched ChatGPT, and a bunch of chatbots and voice bots, and everyone and his dog wants a sort of a voice bot in front of the sort of a panel. So that's a quick 3-4 minute sort of journey of technology in real estate, if you may, and I have the benefit of living through that, most of it. So with that sort of background, and there's a bit of AI thing which I'll talk about later and add to your points. But I'll change gears and move to the smarter guys sitting on the stage here. And this is going to be a sort of a open-ended discussion. I'll pull in Deepak and Hitesh to talk about their sort of PropTech businesses. And then Chintan and Abhay, who have got a vantage point, bird's eye perspective of the industry in India and the world, I'll just invite them to talk about the PropTech space in general. So, and post that, we'll have some questions. I'll talk about the structure after that. So, do you want to start off and talk about your business? What problem are you solving and what do you do?
Yeah, hello. Hi, I'm Hitesh Agnani, founder of the Properties.com. I come from a family of real estate business, being into the business for the last 4 decades. And when I, started out, the whole idea was to help this industry, help this community. Properties was started to help the broking community use technology, right? Where some platforms were using technology to sideline them, I thought there has to be a player in the market which really stands by them, gives them the technology to be on these digital platforms and be found, right? So we started the Properties in 2014 with the idea of helping the broking community, giving them the tools that are required, helping them with the technology, helping them with digital marketing and their marketing needs to provide them the business that they require. And it's been 12 years, we are yet trying to, crack the model of broker discovery, right? We want to help people find the best brokers through our platform. And I'll be very happy to share that we've been slowly and successfully able to change people's behavior from property first, listings first, to broker first, right? So we are seeing trends and patterns where brokers are getting direct inquiries directly on their profiles and not just their listings. So usually when people would search for property, they would start by looking at discovery. Obviously, 90% of the discovery of real estate has moved online. So usually what the behavior in India is that they look for listings, and then if it is through a broker, that is when they contact the broker. What we are seeing is a shift in the behavior where people are also now looking for brokers first, right? So this is where the propertist comes in. And apart from that, we've been doing performance marketing campaigns for the last 10 years now, because we understood that just having brokers and giving them the tools is not sufficient. At the end of the day, the industry requires business to run. And even as a business, we had to generate revenue for ourselves. So being bootstrapped, this was the best way forward for us. We had, ventured into digital at a time, and it took convincing, right, to explain people that how digital is better than your offline model. So this is the time when we got into digital, and we've never looked back. We are bootstrap profitable and doing pretty well for ourselves. And today we have 5,000 plus brokers registered. We have 1,000 plus active brokers on our platform. And we have managed, I think 50 crores was a number that they mentioned. We are very close to 100 crores of funds that we manage on digital platforms. So there's a lot of learning that I will share that I have seen over these last 12 years on how consumer behavior has evolved. Post-COVID, how we saw a growth after COVID in 18 months, the growth that we saw, we'd not seen that kind of growth in the last 5 years before that, right? So how people adopted digital, how they, digital became the first choice for people. So this is something that I would like to share, and that's a brief about my journey and my business.
Fantastic, Hitesh. Hitesh, so does your 100% of business come from brokers, or there's some developer-based business as well?
So to be very honest, when we started off, 80% of our business was broker-led,
right,
and 20% was from developers.
Right.
And slowly what happened is post-COVID, because there was a boom in the real estate market, right? Brokers were yet at 60-70%, but developers always had deeper pockets, but their spending patterns were more towards offline. So when they realized the importance of online and the kind of sales that the brokers were bringing in using, leveraging digital marketing, that is where I feel developers understood that we need to pump in more money into digital marketing. And to be very honest, today as we talk, we are at 75% revenue from developers and 25% from brokers.
Fantastic, got it. 75 developers, 25 brokers, and 100 crore of media spend now.
Yeah, we've
well
managed
done.
almost, all
Great.
close.
Thanks a lot for that. Deepak, do you want to go next? Tell us what PropPickle is all about, and what is the pickle all about? What's on the brand?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, Sunil. Hello to my panelists, and good afternoon, everybody. I know it's very difficult post-lunch session. Me and Abhay were talking कि यार ये lunch के बाद तो बड़ा difficult होता है, and we took a pledge कि सबको जगा के रखेंगे. And we'll speak the truth so that. And yes, I was avoiding this. and we discussed कि हम जो बोलेंगे सच बोलेंगे और सबको जगा के रखेंगे, because हिंदुस्तान में सच थोड़ा कम हो गया, तो we'll talk truth. So my name is Deepak Dureja. I am the founder and CEO of PropPickle Technologies. PropPickle, the name, some people do ask me at times, what is PropPickle? So actually, me and Vinayak, who is here with me, he's a founder along, we were sitting once, way back in 2018 when we booked this domain, and we were sitting on a lunch. And so there is where property plus pickle, came up as PropPickle. So we always thought कि यार कुछ ना value add करना है market में. You know, the way real estate is being presented, the real estate is being sold, the real estate is being bought. Let's add some flavors to it. This is what we do at Tropical. Now what we do, we are a mapping technology company. And so we are majorly into spatial intelligence. What we do, we play on the maps in 3D. We take a map, we take your project. If you're a developer, we take your project. We create the whole experience of your project on the map. Now you may ask, why maps? Maps is one integral part of us since ages. It's there in our DNA. Okay? We know where we have to go when we sit in our car. We know the way to our house. हमें पता है कितना देर लगेगा. Even then we follow GPS. It's by default is there within us. When you talk about real estate, you know, you use all the tools, but सबसे पहले आप location map खोल के बैठते हैं client के साथ कि सर ये हमारा location है, ठीक है? वो pin. So that pin, what we have done is we have added life to that pin. If you see over the Propical, you will see a pin over I, you know, and that pin is clickable in my solution. You click on that pin and you start exploring things. You get inside, you know, you explore where exactly the project is. You go to each and every landmark in the city. We create the whole city on the map in 3D, sir. That is what we do. Schools, colleges, hospitals, malls, markets, all catchments, we create them real time in 3D. You can interact with them. You can revolve them. You can see how far it is from your project, how much time it will take, distance, travel time, route, everything. Okay, just not that. Then we get inside the project. You can explore everything, each and every amenity of the project in 3D, in 360. Then you can go to each and every floor and see how the view will come up as. 3 years, 4 years down the line, you can see it today. And then you can get inside the apartment. Okay, you can have a tour. And we just do not stop here. When client is doing this search and doing site visits, client कहता है सब कुछ अच्छा लग रहा है, लोकेशन समझ आया है, प्रोडक्ट समझ आ रहा है, फ्लोर भी समझ आ गया, यूनिट भी समझ आ गया. Shall I really trust this developer? Then we add a thing called brand story, in which we cover the story of the developer in 3D, all the projects done by the developer on the same pin. That is what we do. Now, what is happening with this is, it is helping the sales team, it is helping the channel partners, it is helping the buyer. They are making much more informed decisions. This is what we do at Tropical, sir.
Fantastic story, Deepak. So clearly 3D maps plus the AR, plus the visualization of the project itself. Well done. And Deepak and I worked together in PropTiger, so हमने same achar खाया है.
Yes,
so
yes.
Thanks for that, Deepak. Great story.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be there. Absolutely. You are definitely a legend for us. You know.
Yeah, thanks
Fantastic.
for calling me older. Yeah. Cool. So thanks for the exciting story. And now coming to the wiser sort of people. When it's wiser, I mean as compared to me. So.
Are you kind of referring to my age or something?
Touche. You got back very quickly. Chintan from KPMG. I'll pull him in to just take a step back and sort of describe the whole sector, the space, and whatever could add value to us with any data and stats if you could throw in, please, Chintan.
Sure. Thank you once again for having me on the panel. Just a quick thing. So as what he alluded to, the age, been in doing real estate and hospitality for the last 25 years, 10 years out of India, 15 years in India. And what I can tell you is, based on my experience, I think real estate was one of the few sectors that was probably the slowest when it came to adopting technology. But it's also the flip side, it was the fastest within the shortest period. So when it realized that technology is probably a lifeline and adding serious value to the business, I think it's very good to know that they're very commercial minded. The day they realized that technology was value accretive, everybody adopted technology. And suddenly in the last 5-7 years, and Sunil, you can correct me, you've been doing this as long as I have. The adoption in the last 5-7 years has just been massive, right? And this is not just India, even at a global level. So I remember in my time when I was in the US and Australia, when I was working, nobody used the word prop tech. While everybody had technology, technology was a very basic nascent word for real estate. And even today, when I look at India, I think there are a set of developers, a set of users and buyers on the other side that have really adapted technology, but there is also a set of people that still need to adapt technology, which means there's a long way to go. But today, when I see the intervention from the time a developer can think of launching a project to the time they develop it, to the time they manage it, and the time they exit it, technology intervention is there at every single place, right? And that is really good to see, which is bringing serious efficiencies. And we can see that developers that have adopted technology are getting that kind of a response from the market over others who have not adopted it. You can see interventions, and some of them that Sunil pointed out, from design to sales. Across the board, we see kind of technology intervention, including fintech side, right? So today, even the plugins from the banking system, right? So all stakeholders in the value chain, in the ecosystem of real estate, have adopted and have some or the other plugin to the developer ecosystem. And that is why I think there's far more efficiency and a far bigger play that's happening. Again, being part of the deals world, just broadly in terms of numbers, while the definition of PropTech is fairly wide, and that includes co-working and kind of banking side and all of that, I think over the years, investments in this segment have been kind of fairly all over the place. We've seen one year when it was north of $1 billion, and I'm talking about India now, to a year when it was as low as 100 million, to last year, which it was closer to 500 million. But when we kind of split this 500, what we realize is that the pure play PropTech investments is sub 100 million, and that is why I feel that players are doing well, but I still feel, and sorry for saying this, I think India needs these PropTech players to get to a certain scale and size, and that is when I think we will see far more efficiency and far more value getting created. So that's my 2 cents on the business.
Fantastic, Chintan. So thanks for adding the global perspective as well. And Indian numbers, I hope you guys got it. $1 billion in a year, $500 million right now, and 100 million pure play PropTech. So by no measure small, but still a long way to go, as Chintan rightly summarized. Thanks for that, Chintan. Moving to Abhay. Abhay has got a super vantage point from being a private equity VC, sort of a chair, and seeing a lot of PropTechs pitching to you. So could you sort of just add to what Chintan said and give us some glimpse of what the PropTech space in India and the world is all about?
So I have the benefit of being the youngest on the panel. By that I mean my exposure to real estate and tech, because all you guys are super veterans out here. I have had a career spanning across investing in edtech, clean tech, and agri tech before my exposure with PropTech and real tech and sustainability. So very fascinating, and I'll tell you why. Because it is a very rare sector in certain few dimensions, right? It is a rare sector to the extent of which it involves both brick and click, right? Because if you're looking at only clean tech, it's a lot of brick. While there is tech in solar and cells and everything, you need land and you need to generate power. You look at fintech, it's a lot more clicks, right? I was the CFO for a fintech. We disbursed loans without meeting the ultimate borrower. Completely digital journey, seamless journey, and that's what fintechs are wanting to do. And banking is moving in a manner where I haven't visited my bank branch, I don't know when, right? And then you have edtech. We know how it has been a journey where you can still, at $10, you can buy a course or a video on YouTube, right? To real estate, which is bricks and clicks, you cannot eliminate the bricks. You cannot eliminate a site visit. And it's not the transaction or the journey, what I call from pre-sales to pre-land to post-sales, is 5 years. It's not 1 month, it's not 6 months, it's not 1 year, it's not 1 quarter, it's 5 years from the time a land is scouted to a time when it is sold and post-sales. It is multi-asset class, which means you have residential, commercial, retail, warehousing, and you have data centers now. You have 3 more elements to it, right? So I'm laying out the dimensions, and then I'll get to where interesting pockets are. It has got 3 more elements, which are again very interesting. It has got SaaS. It has got, because it's bricks, it's got alternate materials. And it's got platforms now. When you talked about the evolution, it was very interesting, very educative. And what I'm seeing since 2022 is emergence of platforms, right? And that is where, for whatever reason, unicorns are getting created. If you think the 4 or 5 unicorns in our sector, LiveSpace, Oyo, Infra.Market, and Office, right? And there are a few more in the pipeline. But disproportionate number of unicorns if you consider the underlying number of deals. Number-wise, you're right, absolutely, Chintan. I think when you scratch the surface, when you look beneath the surface, we started Earth Fund, but I was surprised when we started Earth Fund, we were the first PropTech fund in the country, right? And that told me a lot about the sector. It sort of made us nervous, but having done accelerator program for 10 years at Brigade, we knew we were in the right spot, because I believe we are at an inflection point for these reasons, where we are where fintech was 6 years back, right? We are where some of these tech plays were with an intersection of a core sector. 6 years back, the time is ripe because of 2-3 reasons, right? One, real estate is secularly growing, we all know that. The penetration of tech in real estate is abysmally low. Interestingly, the adoption of tech will only increase when there is a change of guard. That is undeniable. We are seeing that, let's be very honest. And that is beginning to happen now, which means that your tech spends are likely to grow. And with that base effect, if the tech spend even grows by 1%, we are talking about at least 50 unicorns, because that's the size of the sector. And that's how long the value chain is, right? And hence, I think for us as a fund, as a professional and as an investor and as a mentor in this sector, I'm excited. I'm excited. But there are limitations to that excitement, simply because I think the risk that we see as investors in the sector is still lie around adoption. I think the quality of entrepreneurs has improved because they can see it's a supply-demand game, right? They can see that there is demand, as you rightly said, and hence there is supply of technology in entrepreneurs. Having said that, do I see as many entrepreneurs as I have seen in other sectors in my career? Not there yet, right? While pockets have a lot of noise. I was discussing with Hitesh very openly, broker networks or sales side, because it started in 2015, still very crowded. Am I looking at intersection of fin and prop? Not as much. Interestingly, the first recent company we saw intersection of health and tech or real estate. We work for doctors. Charging doctors by the hour for using a facility where everything is designed for doctors. Like a WeWork would design for for offices. Imagine you set up a facility which can do that. But that's the first of its kind. We can have many more, because we know how much the medical fraternity wants to practice on its own. And that is the biggest barrier. So I'm seeing emergence of models. I'm seeing many more platforms than there are needed. I'm seeing a lot of noise. I'm seeing a lot of interesting, as I said, ideas. And hence I'm excited, because I know that the sector can absorb capital in the next 3 to 5 years very easily. I would want to see more variety. Valuations are not as stratospheric. Also, inherently, you will not, as an investor, end up doing loss funding, because we are all, 80% of our journey is B2B. If you think a real estate journey, 80% is B2B, and B2B by definition, you don't need to spend money like some of our quick commerce firms to acquire the customer. You don't need to burn money, right? So it is a very interesting positioning, and we are happy to be the first movers as far as the fund is concerned. But then there are other risks at play. But we are scratching the surface, and hence very exciting. I think we are very well set for the next 5 to 10 years in this journey.
Fantastic. I think there were 31 bullet points. So well done, yeah. And I'm kidding, but really, so thanks for helping the sector out by defining the complexity of the sector, a 5-year cycle, a multi-asset class sale, the sheer physicality of the sale process itself. So easily, not an easy place to build tech companies. And the 50 unicorns, I think that was the headline. So always there is one headline from a panel discussion. So there's scope for 50 unicorns for PropTech in the coming years. And that's music to all our ears, right? The young PropTech founders. There is good money, there is smart money, but it's a discerning. That's what is the summary again, that the model will have to be seen. And the B2B thing was again a super sort of a nugget there, that possibly, and then most of our businesses are B2B possibly, the revenues are coming B2B. So we're in that space, don't have to build a retail brand. and we'll talk about whether you can sell homes on Zepto at some point in time, taking the quick commerce thing. Yeah, so there's 20 minutes. We have two rough areas, so we are going to go deep into two areas. One, so first, and I'll ask all four of you to sort of chip in and in reverse orders in the first and second. So one area we'll talk about the level of automation that's happened in the sector and the data readiness. So I'll club the data with that. And the second would be AI, right? So on what's happening, what's Citrini and what's post-Claude, post-Codex sort of world. We'll go there as well, but step by step. So first, let's have the panelists talk about what's your view on how automated the sector is, which part of sectors should be automated, digitalized, and how's the data? Whichever points you guys think that you guys know more about. Yeah, please, can we start off with you, Hitesh? Yeah.
So when we started the PropTech and when I started my entrepreneurial journey, I saw most of the stakeholders were managing their data offline or maybe physical forms, right? They had these files, and the ones who were a little tech savvy were having it on Excels and Google Sheets. Okay, so that was the best they were doing at that point of time, and it was very difficult to convince people that this has to be automated. Now, when I talk about marketing in PropTech, because we are in the marketing space of PropTech, when it came to even leads, right? These leads were being managed on Google Sheets and Excel, and they were taking printouts. And even today, to a point where printouts have been taken and given to the pre-sales team to make calls on, right? So I feel real estate is always late to the party. The technology adoption has been very, very slow. And it's been a very difficult journey, especially pre-COVID, where we really had to convince them, please use technology. You can, really automate a lot of stuff. So what we started doing, I can tell you my journey and what we started doing is we saw that these leads were going on a Google Sheet and then they were being called on the next day. So we put in an automation plug where these real-time plugins, where the leads, as soon as they generated, they went on to the advertiser's phone. Okay, so we were first in the markets to automate that part, right? So the leads were going real time, the feedbacks were coming in real time. So this is something that we saw and we did in terms of data automation and ensuring that all what we are generating gets catered to ASAP, because the turnaround time in marketing really matters a lot, and that is where your qualification ratios go up if your turnaround time is really good. So that is one place that I saw in front of me what really came in from Google Sheets now. And also one more thing that I've seen is adoption of CRMs. Like earlier, CRMs were like something alien for people, right? Now I feel even with any new campaign that we are doing, any new media spends, with any kind of, even a real estate broker, they have some or the other CRM with them where they are managing these leads on. Earlier, it was all on Google Sheets. They had no CRMs. They had no setup for follow-ups. Now every client has a CRM, and it's by default our delivery team will ask them, do you have a CRM where you want us to plug in all the leads? And this is a change that we've seen in terms of data. So yes, real estate, I think recently they have adopted new tools, and they are looking to adopt more such technologies.
That's a huge change. You say most of the brokers are using CRM now, so they have a lead, one single view of the customer, and so on and so forth. Fantastic. And you are sort of living in the trenches with those guys, so you know this firsthand. Deepak, do you want to continue on any parts of the sector on level of automation, back office, front office, CRM, or digital, and what is the level of data readiness? Is it? Because the data readiness will take us to the next question of AI. Yeah.
So I tell you, I think it's rightly mentioned by my friend that so see, what beauty we have in our as a human is that we are very good at adoption. And if we won't adopt, we'll perish, right? So I think this is the need of the hour. If we talk about what's happening back in US, what's happening back in Australia, as you just said, Australia has 22 million population. Out of that, 20 million population has downloaded REA, right? So I think we are on that stage, and rightly mentioned by Abhay also, कि developer ने थोड़ा सा भी spend बढ़ा दिया तो unicorn बन जाएंगे बहुत सारे, and that's a fact. So coming to the point, now what we do is, now we are working on one more very interesting thing. We are working on buyer behavior pattern. Okay, so leads very important. Okay, marketing very very important. Right, on time approaching the client is very very important. It's all about who approaches first, right? If you leave your lead even for 15 minutes, it's stolen by somebody else. Somebody else will probably approach that, and probably by then 10 people will approach that one client. This is what it is happening. Now I say this is all happening. Now we have gone a little step ahead from here. Now what we are trying to do here is we are working on buyer behavior, as in the solution that we create. As I say, we create all landmarks, okay? And there are very important decision making things कि मेरे property से school कितना दूर है, college कितना दूर है, hospital कितना दूर है, mall कितना दूर है, main road से कितना दूर हूँ मैं, metro station से मेरा घर कितना दूर है, railway station से कितना दूर है. Now what we do is on our IP based solution that we have created on Propical, on the mapping itself, we study the behavior कि किसने कितनी देर किस landmark पे time spend किया है. And believe in me, Sunil, people do decide property basis that. People do see कि यार मेरा बेटा मेरे घर से कितना दूर जा रहा है पढ़ने के लिए. How far? भाई दिल्ली में it is 5 kilometer का हमारा वो चलता है. The school has to be, the residence has to be within 5 kilometers. If you are applying, you will get additional points. So what I'm saying is that technology we have taken to that level. Today we are studying those behaviors, and they are very very important. We give study to the developer then. That this is what is happening, these many clicks, these many things are happening. Then we are very closely working with town planning authorities. We create the whole city on the map for a town planning. For example, we are working with Noida Authority, we are working with Yamuna Expressway Industrial Development Authority. And when you visit any authority, you see those very complex maps, right? What we do, we add life to that map. We make them interactive, those maps. Then on a click, you can see which sector is where. And then we have also added features like disaster management mein kya, which is the fastest route which can be taken. All this we are doing basis data only, So data was always there, please understand. It's not that data ki kami hai. It is all about data ka utilization kaise ho raha hai. This is what I think AI we are talking about tech. So, see, पहले पेपर पे लिखते थे लीड्स, फिर हम एक्सेल में लिखने लगे, फिर एक स्टेप और ऊपर गए, we started maintaining records, then came ACRM, and then came more, CRMs. Then we launched features like Uber, Ola, कि जो पहले click करेगा lead उसकी. There are so many things happening. So data was always there. I think it's all about the way we are playing with data. As simple as this. This is what we are trying to do. How can we add value to people's life? We are genuinely solving real-day, real-time problems. This is what we are doing at Propical, sir.
Fantastic, Deepak. And just a curious question there. So you would be a treasure trove of information at some point of time if you are really mapping and digitizing the consumer insights as well. The things that you mentioned that, hey, a customer decides based on the distance. So if you are really tabulating it and sort of capturing all the data, at some point in time, that data will be sort of worth its weight in gold for developers. So well done. Yeah.
Thank you. Let me tell you one more thing here. Right. Now we are going a little ahead from here. World is talking about sustainability. World is talking about reducing carbon footprints, and we have already started working towards it. If you are visiting a site on my solution, suppose, okay, this is the center, this is your property. Okay, these are the landmarks, Now there are two options. Either you visit everywhere, take a car, set a odometer to 0 and see how far you have gone. B, on my solution, you are visiting everywhere. So it will define that you have traveled this much of kilometer and you have saved this much of carbon footprint.
Fantastic.
So we are adding all these features. We are trying to match what the world needs today and maybe tomorrow, what our kids would be needing. They should be aware. For that, we have to start creating things today. And we have to start thinking in those lines, what is needed for the society.
Superb, Deepak. That's goosebump stuff. Thanks a lot for that. Chintan, you want to sort of take a step back and just give us your view on level of automation, data readiness, and of the sector itself?
Sure. So having worked with clients and just a live case, right? I don't think even the corporatist of the developers have their data in place, right? And
When I was guessing that, yeah.
it's not to do with them not doing it. It's just historically we've never collected that much data in the form that can be added to a system like what they have created, both of them have created. Once it is there, then you have user cases for the ML AI piece to actually then throw out stuff. Now, if 10 years back, the sales agent never collected the data, and if there was a piece of paper which is archived somewhere, now to convert that into a usable data becomes very, very difficult. So what you have is a data that is fairly new, which is not a bad thing, but what it misses then is the historical trends of how things have happened and what are the learnings of it. But I think a practical example for me is the question that a developer asks is, Chintan, kharcha kitna lagega? And
The $1 million question.
And what is the ROI? And the other question is, agar ye aaj 10 option hai, what should I take? And tomorrow if I take A, if I don't work with A, if I have to then restart to a B and to a C, how does whole thing happen? So technology, while I think it's definitely a boon, I think it needs a lot of educating the developer, the buyer, but also at the end of the day, real estate, as what I said, it took time to adapt it, but once they realized the value, they moved fast. I think developers count every penny. So while it's good to have them help raise revenue and save cost, but if this is going to cost money and time and resources, they will expect an ROI. And unless there is a reasonable ROI in play, and their adoptability is like, ठीक है यार, 2 आदमी को लगा दिया, काम हो जाएगा, कल से मेरा customer भी देखेगा, तो ठीक है. Or then you just have a CRM for the sake of saying that I also have a CRM and मेरा भी AI ML पे data record होता है, ये होता है. And then you just use those words in meetings with your customers. But the real use of it, I think at some point will have to depend upon the ROI of this technology than anything else.
So that's pretty sobering, just take a step back and, yeah, no, but
I came from the customer side,
yeah,
the business side.
yeah,
No,
the
you're
whole
right.
cash flow, sorry.
Can I just add one thing?
Please,
So I
please.
think
Yeah, quickly.
what Chintan is mentioning is true and correct. But see, I'll just put it like this. It's about let's go a little back, 10 years, 15 years only, not much, okay? 15, 20 years back maybe. हम मूवी देखने जाते थे सर, नॉर्मल थिएटर होते थे, सिंगल स्क्रीन थिएटर होते थे, 20 रुपए से 50 रुपए की टिकट मिल जाती थी. आज हम फैमिली के 3 लोग जाते हैं, 2000 रुपए लग जाते हैं, बट वी स्टिल कम बैक हैप्पी that we have spent good time. वो smell of popcorn, which comes and attracts us, for a 700 rupees tub of a popcorn, but we still spend it. I think it's all about, again, behavior. समय लगता है थोड़ा सा, but we have to give them the taste of things. With this, we cannot stop कि यार ये ले नहीं रहा तो हम बनाएंगे नहीं, हम बनाते जाएंगे सर, और हम make sure करेंगे हर कोई लेगा आने वाले समय में. This is what it is.
No, I'm with you on that. See, I think the need is there. Again, it's just educating the buyer on the ROI, right? This is, at the end of the day, it's an ROI play.
100%, that's what I'm saying. So people who are using it are already analyzing and have seen के ROI है. That is why, so I tell you, my repeat rate is close to 40%, sir.
Good stuff, Deepak. So, Abhay, since time is ticking, can I ask you to sort of merge the AI piece as well, and then we'll move
Yeah,
back?
no, sure.
So all your comments on automation, data, and AI, sense of readiness, what are the AI use cases, if you could start, and then we can go in the reverse order.
So I think I'll combine. I think for
Thank you.
us, the way we are looking at solutions and investability, we have simplified it to say, how do we rate solutions or interventions on 4 parameters and before, after. The 4 parameters being cheaper, faster, greener, safer. Right? And alluding to your points on ROI, does it build cheaper? Does it sell faster or build faster? Does it make it more green, and does it make it more safe? Why did I say it in this order is probably the reason we have attached weightages. But this is the order in which it gets evaluated, because it has to be cheap first, it has to be selling or helping build fast, and then green and then safe, right? That is the priority. Now, the question is, what is before and after? And I have found very interestingly solutions or technology making life hell after. Why? Because my site engineer doesn't want to be eliminated, is resisting change, is getting threatened. So while there are a lot of things that happen top down, when it comes to implementation, वहाँ पर उसकी band पिट जाती है. Yeah, there is resistance, and the HODs, founding from the promoter to the HODs to the field and line, behavior and acceptance can be all over the place, right? Data is for me secondary, but just the resistance to change and acceptance is a bigger barrier, right? Because people see the elephant in many different ways. Yeah, there are 6 blind men in the room and they're touching and feeling the elephant very differently. Now, coming to data and AI, I think, again, I'll go back to saying pre-land to post-launch and after launch, right, and after sales. Land is taking time and resources from a particular team and department. I think land and around land is where a lot of the financial commitment and time goes. I don't see a lot, unless, digitized data and records and, title and legal tech, very limited use cases, plenty of data which needs to be automated and digitized, lot of gap, but still a lot being done through hunch and network and whatever that means, right? Then you move in the value chain from there to design. That piece is really doing well on automation, not as much on data. It's about automation. How quickly can I turn around design? And actually the turnaround time is needed to be badly crashed there. At least we as a group are working on how we can go to GFC, which is good for construction drawings, in the fastest possible time. And that's where you have real scope, and we are seeing some interventions. Then you move to construction monitoring. That is where things get very tricky, because there is material involved and there is men involved. And when men and material interact, the results can be whatever. So there, construction monitoring, imagine camera-mounted helmets and LiDAR-based technologies, all of them meant to monitor construction, expedite, lot of cross purposes. Data is there. Data limitation is not as, or data requirement is not as high. It's about monitoring. Then you move into sales. Sorry, I'm just breaking down, but sales, very, very useful as far as AI, automation, data, leads, management, VR, voice, chat, agentic, lot of work getting done there, right? And including post-sales, let's say residential management, MyGate, or tenancy management, monitoring mall traffic, analytics, plenty happening, plenty. But how do you monetize it? The question is, how do you monetize and who will pay for it? That is where the payment comes into play, right? While there is a lot of good tech, a lot of fancy tech, and you are aware how we can capitalize on the tech, but I'm not yet excited because I'm not able to see how money will be made. So that's our thought process, and that's how we're picking up pockets on data and AI.
Pretty comprehensive, Abhay, thanks. So I'll just open it up a bit by talking about some AI tools that we have built so that you guys can then chip in and add. So there's I was telling you guys a bit in the green room that the first step was the data, and all of you said this in the last 5-10 minutes. So in my company, at least, we started collecting data 8 years back. So we have like 8 million leads, which have given 120,000 bookings at 1.5% conversion. So it's almost like a giant spreadsheet with 8 million rows and 284 columns. The first 3 columns are mobile number, email, and name. And then as the lead interacts with the company, it keeps on populating. So that data we used to create predictive ML model, machine learning models 5 years back, before AI had become sexy and glamorous. And those models are predicting at the top of the funnel if the customer is serious or not, or if the broker is serious or not. And the junked and failed leads, they're going in and bringing out false negatives. So that whole thing has given a 5 to 6% revenue lift. So that's the ROI piece as well. So I'm addressing a couple of points there. And then November 2022, when ChatGPT came, then we started building chatbots. So the conversational piece got solved with that. So now, of course, there are chatbots talking to home buyers. I've got 125 chatbots of 125 projects. They're talking to brokers, bringing them in. There's a referral genie, which is asking for referrals. There's a night genie, 9 p.m. to 9 a.m., 22% of leads come. They're engaging with that. And the output of the generative AI is going into predictive AI to improve the models. So it's a pretty intense ecosystem that can be built in real estate if one wants to. We have not sold it, so we haven't answered the question of ROI. It's a secret sauce for us. But that's what's happening in sales and marketing ecosystem at least. So anything you want to add, Chintan? And
one
Deepak
question
and
for you
Haider?
now.
Yeah.
Let me just kind of
Yes,
flip
it's
it
for
slightly.
sure.
I don't have anything to add after what Abhay said. So
Do we have
just
2-3
gonna ask
minutes
a
more,
question.
guys? Do we have 2-3 minutes more? Can we? Yeah, go ahead.
Abhay covered everything, so he didn't leave anything for three of us. So,
Yeah, he talks in a framework.
the three of
isn't
us can ask you questions now, Sunil.
Yeah, please, yeah.
No, so I think one of the things you mentioned, right, where chatbots are doing a lot of conversation with, do you think real estate sales, right? Because you touched on the very important point. Me as an end user, as a buyer, am I convinced on buying a 3 crore, 5 crore in city like Mumbai, even a higher priced thing with a chatbot conversation, or do I still need physical human intervention? And is that really important in real estate as opposed to some of the other sectors?
So 100% of our sales are done through humans. So you bang on, you hit the nail on the head. Our North Star metric is to automate the sourcing part. So sourcing and closing, the two part of sales. Closing, we have decided not to take the problem statement at all to solve it. So it has to be handed over. So from lead to site visit, that journey, and by the way, 70% of salespeople are involved in sourcing, 30% in closing. So that piece we are trying to solve. And again, our North Star metric is not to reduce employees, is to assist them. So the KPI that we measure is AI-assisted booking, which has gone to 18%, by the way, in the last 2 years. So 18% of all homes sold are assisted by AI. But the superb question, the physicality of the sale, which Abhay had mentioned, sort of leads to that.
So I would like to add there, and you rightly said that, at the end of the day, your clients would need ROI to put money in. What we are doing is we are plugging in all these, new gen ML and AI solutions into our offering. What that does is eventually, when they spend, say, 100 rupees with us, they will make $300 because of these plugins that we put in. Right? So the kind of ROI that they would get earlier would be for 100 rupees, they would make $200. But now with these solutions that we are offering them, plugging that into our solution, we are not charging them separately. Even for us as a platform, we have conversational AI that we've integrated. And as you rightly said, the biggest challenge is from lead generation to lead visit. Right? That's the biggest pain point in the industry when it comes to marketing. That is where AI is really, really moving things fast. So what used to happen is a pre-sales guy would call on a lead, okay, understand the requirements, send the details, then again give them a call. So with AI, what's happening, that first line of conversation is done through AI. So AI can, that conversation can tell us what the requirement is on basis of configuration of their budget, when is a good time to call them. And the biggest problem that people would not pick up their phones, even when these pre-sales guys, because most of these numbers are flagged, right? So with AI and WhatsApp, what we've done is we've integrated WhatsApp conversational AI, and that is really automating a lot of things for us, making people take faster decisions. What we are also working on is lead scoring. Which tells the teams who are working with us, the clients that are working with us, which are the leads that you have to call first. Okay, anyone who's interacted with our WhatsApp bot and given the data points and has come from, say, sources like Google Search or Google Discovery platforms. So we know these are the most likely to convert. So AI will learn these patterns, score them better, so that our clients get better ROI. So we don't really have to sell them these solutions separately. We did try that okay, we'll, these AI plug into our campaigns, we'll sell you. They didn't want to buy it. Fantastic. But when we plugged it in for free, we saw our retention rates go up.
And cost per site visit, cost per qualified lead fell down, and that's why they are asking you for more.
I think data, there's a lot of data in real estate, right? It's not been structured properly. With these new PropTech companies coming in, the first step is to structure the data, as you rightly said, so many columns of data. Correct. If you structure it well, you can have ML and AI on this data. And this is similarly what we are doing, mapping all the fields, using conversational AI to bring in more data points, and then putting an AI layer over the top, LLM layer over the top, which will train on this data, right? And as it trains on this data, more and more data coming in, tomorrow we can even assist developers what configuration to launch, right? What sizes work? When is a good time to call a client?
Correct.
Right? So how fast a conversion happens. Right. So much happening. I think I'm really excited. I think we are really short of time.
Yeah.
But
there's a lot, time is up. So it's
one
unfriendly. Deepak, why don't you do the last line?
Yeah. So I think there are two takeaways right now what I saw. First is we agree that we run lack of organized data. So data is there, it's not organized. So I think it's a big market. Anyone wish to make a big business, go to these agencies, go to the government, and tell them कि हम आपका data streamline कर देंगे and give it to companies like us and we will build it well. You know, first. So it will make life easy for them eventually, and it's a big market, I tell you. You would agree to this. You know, eventually this is what you have done. Second, okay, tell me one thing. What is the biggest defer reason for a sale in real estate? Well, what is the biggest reason of sale deferment? कि यार अभी नहीं ले रहे, बाद में देखेंगे या क्या है?
There's no urgency. The price is not increasing. Yeah.
So we did one study and we found not visiting the site. Okay? Not visiting the site और sample flat कह सकते हैं, site कह सकते हैं कि client ने आपसे बात हो रही है, okay, but he is not getting time to visit the site. आपने ब्रोशर भेज दिया, सब कुछ कर दिया, ठीक है, बट इफ ही इज नॉट एबल टू विजिट द साइट, ही विल से आई विल सी. नाउ दैट माइट टेक 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, 1 year. फॉलो अप चलता रहेगा, सर आइए, कार्निवल चल रहा है, गोल्ड कॉइन मिल रहा है, ठीक है, एंड XYZ. अंडरस्टैंड. नाउ व्हाट वी हैव डन एट ट्रॉपिकल इज वी हैव लॉन्च ट्रॉपिकल QT. ओके, QT इज क्विक टूर. कि कहीं मत जाइए सर, नहीं आ पा रहे, कोई बात नहीं, आपके घर आएगी साइट, यू नो. And we have given access card kind of thing to the channel partner who will just take Propical and run it on the smart TV of the client. And his whole family will experience the site, location, landmarks, everything. So I think so if you cannot come to the site, site will come to you. And this is also adding value to the overall ecosystem, sir.
Brilliant, brilliant. So time flies in Brahma years when you are on the stage, is it? So time's up a long time back, is it?
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Please clap and appreciate their wonderful insights that they've shared so far. I'm going to be calling upon stage Mr. Amit Baid, founder and creative director, ABC Brand Advisory, to kindly give away the token of appreciation to our esteemed speakers over here. Do we have Mr. Baid inside the room? Is he around? Thank you so much. I'll request Mr. Baird to please kindly join us over here to give away the token of appreciation, and in the meantime, we have the token of appreciations ready. Is ready? Huh. Yeah. Thank you. Please come up on stage, Mr. Baird. Thank you so much. That's Mr. Amit Baid, ladies and gentlemen, founder and creative director, ABC Brand Advisory. I'll request all of you to please kindly stand up in front of the tables so that we can do the token of appreciation. We'll do one group photo after all of them are done. One group photo together after all of them are done. Yeah. And once again, thank you to all of you for joining us over here. Can I request all of you to come forward, please, for a nice group photograph? Very, very interesting, very, very engaging indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. This was about PropTech as the growth engine, scaling real estate with speed, precision, and control. Thank you.